defense. Jalen Hurts completed 83% of his passes. Russ threw for 473 yards, and Caleb had 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, best passer rating, and he wasn't sacked for the first time in his career. Is anybody ready to throw the towel in on the Cowboys season?
Yeah, I will.
Oof.
CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain.
There you go.
It's a wrap. And listen, again, if you guys watched Sports Media Ombudsman last week, if the reporting is not as bad as it was feared, it's 2 weeks minimum out. And so he's going to miss at least the next 2 games. And the other reporting I'm hearing is not planning to put him on IR, which means they thought about it. So it's at least a couple weeks out. And I think it's real on the board that they just have the worst defense in the NFL. And so, yeah, I will go ahead and write off the Cowboys. And I think it's possible that they do finish last in this division. I mean, the Giants, we talk about the Giants are a total joke. That's fine. Giants and Cowboys literally just played, and the game couldn't have been closer than it was. And both teams have lost all the other games they've played. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're in real rough shape.
If not for Brandon Aubrey, who is a phenomenal kicker, they could be 0-3. And like I said, I thought they were going to beat Chicago. And I thought, when you look at the NFC, you got the 4 division winners. You got Detroit or Green Bay, whichever one doesn't win. And that's it for certainty. We're not even certain anymore about Washington. We're not certain about a second team in the AFC or NFC West or a second team in the NFC South. So if they were just pretty good, they'd be in the hunt. But they showed yesterday they're not pretty good. That defense is worse. Well, I think it's worse than the Bengals last year, at least what we've seen so far. And Dak, as good as he is not Joe Burrow. And they don't have a receiver, especially with CD out, that Cincinnati has. So, yeah, they're done. They're toast. That defense just isn't good enough.
Yeah, I'm throwing in the towel. Look, and it's yes, it has a lot to do with CD, but I think it's gonna have a lot to do with Dak now, because just like we're seeing with Patrick Mahomes, and when the quarterback doesn't have the weapons that he's accustomed to, he's going to force things that he probably ordinarily wouldn't and shouldn't. That's going to end up being Dak. He's going to have to take more risk. That means turnovers are going to increase. With that defense, you can't turn the ball over at all. So, yeah, no.
Can I give a real quick Galaxy brain take?
Ooh, yeah.
If I were Buffalo, because Bass is hurt, and maybe even Baltimore, just because they're unsettled post Justin Tucker, I would honestly consider seeing if, giving up a 2nd-round pick for Brandon Aubrey. Like those two teams that are trying to and I know that sounds crazy to give up for a kicker, but if you are the ultimate SBOB team, and if you're the Cowboys, having Aubrey right now is like having the best closer in baseball on the Rockies. Like it's just
cross the 50-yard line.
Right. And so if you're Baltimore or Buffalo that already score all the time, it feels like you'd get points any possession. I don't know.
I got to give him a tryout in the cold. You got to start kicking in a freezer. We're not in a nice dome anymore. But interesting. Giants, meanwhile, have dropped to 0-3. Russ got booed at the end of the game. He threw 2 interceptions.
-6, baby. Thank you, Russ.
Threw passes into the tunnel and off the uprights. I don't know what's going on here. Here's Dayball on the booing.
Look, I'd be booing too, to be honest with you, in terms of not being good enough. No, not scoring, not finishing. I understand that. That's the nature of it. We got to be better.
Here's Russ this season against the Commanders. Didn't look great. Passer rating under 60, no touchdowns. Then you got to play the Cowboys in that defense. You looked amazing. And they played the Chiefs. He had 160 yards, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating at 44. Is anyone ready to bench Russ for Jackson Dart?
I am not starting Jackson Dart's first game of his career against that Charger defense. I'm just not doing it. Now, Greg and I both had the mind meld take of, why do you have Jameis Winston?
Exactly.
Just play but I do think that, this is harsh because he's a Hall of Very Gooder, but the final pass of Russell Wilson's Giants career should have been the one that clanged off the crossbar. And that, if it's his final pass of his Giants career, that could be just the final pass. But
is that a pass that is trying to be caught as an errant pass, or do you think that's
Wilds had?
It's not very. It's not a nice. It's basically a remix of your take.
My take from his, his Broncos year when people were like, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks. He wasn't as bad as you. If you look at the numbers, I'm not naming names.
96.
But 90, Brew remembers it. I thought he was playing what I called a selfish brand of football, where he was protecting his numbers because he knew I'm on my way out. I need another job. Doing it in this spot would be baffling.
Well, it's 22-9. It's 4th and goal. Is that a catchable ball that he threw, Greg, or is he like?
It's not definitely not catchable. Was it a mistake? Is the question.
Well, did he mean it to be a catchable ball that got away from him?
Right.
Why not just, hey, there's a blue jersey over there. I'm going to throw a dart and let you make a play.
I couldn't believe this. And this is what, if you're a Giants fan and you're sitting and you're paying and you're watching these games, I can't keep coming and watching this. I just can't. I think last week it was exciting, and it's almost like we feel like they won, even though they didn't. The win was, Russ looked great.
Yeah.
The offense looked great. Well, now we're starting to see everybody's probably going to look great against the Dallas defense. Yeah. They have to do something. And it's tough because I think they're going to end up going to Jackson Dart, and I do not believe they clearly don't want to, because I think it's going to be hard to go from Russ to Jameis, and Jameis is going to give you a better version of Russ, but he's definitely going to give you the interceptions. He's definitely going to give you the roller coaster, and it's like if you're going to just start this young man's career, you got all the other rookies.
After the Chargers, you have the Saints. If you can hold off one more week.
I agree with you with the Chargers.
One more week,
makes a lot of sense.
and then give him a decent start against the Saints.
Russ, and it was the same thing last year in Pittsburgh. All he does is dink and dunk or throw the long ball. That's it. There is no intermediate passing whatsoever. It is so predictable that I agree with you guys. Dart, I don't know if they're seeing something that's telling them he's not ready. And I am against just throwing in the rookie just because he was a first-round draft pick if he's not ready. But, like you guys said, put Jameis in there. Jameis will probably be exciting and good for 3 or 4 games if you want that much. You might not even want that many from him. But he could probably do it 3 or 4 games. But the Saints makes a ton of sense to start Dart. But the season's over. They're 0-3, not making the playoffs. It's all about Jackson Dart at this point.
If I can just add 2 very quick things. One is, it also is on Brian Dable to design get the ball in Malik Neighbors' hands somehow. That was outrageous.
Yes.
That's outrageous. Yes. And I don't care who's playing quarterback for you. Find a way to get Malik Neighbors the ball. That's first of all. And second of all, I don't know who I am talking to in the Giants organization. But if you watched that broadcast with the sound on, Chris Collinsworth did his best to, not go overboard, but it was so obvious that everyone within the Giants was telling Collinsworth and Tirico how excited they are about Jackson Dart, how good Jackson Dart is, how they can't wait to have Jackson Dart playing. I don't think that's helpful. And I don't think if you were actually trying to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I've never heard a broadcast more open about the fact, the very tops of the organization are done with the guy playing quarterback now and can't wait for the guy playing quarterback here when the guy playing quarterback now is coming off the best game he's had in a decade.
That's true.
And it doesn't, I feel like those things were at least semi-related, and it's putting pressure on Dart. You talk about Jackson Dart's aura. My goodness gracious. It was Chris Collinsworth was caught by it.
The Chargers defense will be a test for his aura. You see him where he's reading the wristband?
He's also very, very icy. The late first-round pick that hasn't...
It's a lot of, the financial advisor in me is like...
I know. That's what...
Invest some of it.
I want that guy who walks around and sees if the diamonds are real. Because if those are real, that's your sign.
Rough day in Foxborough where the Patriots turned the ball over 5 times, but oddly still had a chance to tie the game before throwing a 4th and 1 pass short of the sticks.
Well, it was at the sticks when the guy ran back.
Well, 6 inches short.
Yeah.
Also, Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns. Here's Aaron.
They came out and played incredible. We were terrible on offense after the first 2 drives. I didn't have a good game, but the defense every time kept us in. End of the first half, deflection, interception, going in for a touchdown, fumble, touchback. The defense won the game.
Here's the tail of the tape. The Patriots had 71 offensive plays and almost 375 total yards. We had 5 giveaways. We lost by a touchdown. My takeaway is this. The Patriots felt like a weird stuff happening. Just odd, but we were still in it. And this is going to sound crazy, and because I had a Patriots hat on, a Patriots shirt, and I was there with my kids trying to be the Patriots fan. But just, this is true if you watch the game. The Steelers are not a scary team.
Oh, that part's definitely true.
Okay, good. That's all.
That part's definitely true.
We might not be good, but the Steelers are not a scary
team.
team.
The Steelers are as close to a cross-off at 2-1 as I can remember.
You're going to cross them off.
But here's the...
Well, it's just that the AFC...
The AFC, right, correct.
They're catching breaks with quarterback play, too.
Yeah.
But
who they're going up against.
But I called Kevin Wildes this morning, and despite the fact that Jalen Hurts vindicated him, that a lot of things, you know, he's got a great life, great family, all this stuff. He was despondent based off the Patriots game. Mm-hmm. So I will say to you now publicly what I said privately. You have to come to grips with the fact that the team you root for is simply at this point a bad franchise. They once were great. The Patriots have been very, very bad for the exact same amount of time the Chiefs have been very, very good. Think about how long the Chiefs have been good for.
You know,
the Patriots, since the Chiefs started making Super Bowls, the Patriots have been awful. So you shouldn't let it make you, like Hubbs is a Raider fan. I called Hubbs this morning. He was happy as could be. I was more upset about the Raiders. He's like, we've been bad for 22 years, buddy. It's your fault for believing in us. You can't let them bring you down, bro. You just root for one of the bad teams. It's like being a Titans fan.
What's the Chiefs' record?
See, this guy.
My 2 favorite teams. Got 2 wins. 2 and 4 combined, Patriots and Chiefs.
You can lean into that Philly.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm trying to help you.
No, I'm great.
We're both 1 and 2. Your 1 and 2 feels different than my 1 and 2. Well, we're 1 and 2 right there in the AFC.
Don't stay too late.
I'll try.